Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to channel. This is a Patreon sponsored post. If you want to become a patron, just sign up. The link is in the description below. You can sign up for as little as $1 per month. Now, one of my patrons asked me for an AT15 review. So here we are. So the AT15 is a tank. It's a weird tank because it's a tank when I first started that I hated, and then it was a tank that I actually thought was really good, and now it's a tank that I just think it's meh. Now these tanks, just like I've done a tortoise video, and back in the day it used to be really well known for its very strong armor, and it's pretty much the same as the AT15. But over the years, it just seems to have got much weaker. I mean, the armor profile hasn't changed, but it's just people know where to shoot. You've got a great big hatch on the top that anyone can penetrate. And now, just look at my hit points. I'm now down to 171, and most of my hit points has been taken from two medium and light tanks in tier 7 from distance. So it's really not hard to penetrate the big hatch on this. So and because of that, it's got nice gun depression, it's got lovely DPM. I mean, like 3,300 DPM with this gun. The rate of fire is amazing. It's like 17 rounds per minute. And it's 3.2 second reload, so that's crazy. The accuracy is quite good. The speed is obviously very slow, but the speed, to be honest, that doesn't really bother me about the speed. For me, it's just the armor. The armor profile is just feels really weak, and that's why I don't really like these tanks much more. And it seems to be that the higher or the tier you go up, the less the armor is. I mean, the tier 5, the AT5, I think, it's got great armor, and it's just the hatch really that can be penetrated. Where this tank, you can be penetrated from the great big hatch, you can be penetrated from the bottom with APCR or with heat, and even the cheeks at the side of the side of your gun, that can be penetrated as well. So the armor profile for me, it's not as strong as it should be. Now, here's the Tiger P. Yes, fair enough, we get a block damage from the SU-152, and we're going to get another block damage from him. But we're going to get penetrated from the Tiger P. Now, hold down in this thing is not really an option, because you hold down, then that happens. You show that great big hatch of yours. So for me, the way I would play this tank is try and hide that hatch. I mean, the gun arc on this thing is very good. So if you can hide that hatch behind a rock, just sort of like in that position, where it's going to be, you play it a lot better. You will play it a lot better. Now, I'm going to rush the hill here because I know that the SU has shot me twice, so he's not in the TD spot that most people will think he is. So I'm going to rush the heavies. We do manage to take out the KV-13, and you can see here the IS-3 is above me. I couldn't get my shot on him until I moved up a little bit, but he had no issues penetrating that hatch at all. But as I've said, the thing this has got, which you need to take advantage of it, is that DPM. And I mean, it has a 3.4 second reload with 2.9 on the adrenaline. So take advantage of that and use that to try and perma-track the tanks, because you will perma-track tanks, and that is the best thing about this tank. You can easily perma-track tanks. Now, tanks like the IS-3 and the heavies, yes, it's good to perma-track them, but they're going to easily penetrate you. So tanks such as T28s, AT15s, tanks without a turret SUs, those are the tanks that you really get a kick out of when you are perma-tracking them. So this battle, we've actually had quite a good battle. Mod where fuck your mum, he was not happy. UTD, I think he was aiming at someone else. So we're going to fast forward this. We couldn't catch up with the last remaining tank. We finished that battle on 3.2k damage. It was easily done. Second class, 2 kills. Not really anything exciting, but I think we did not too bad considering we was front line. We wasn't camping. So we did all right. So moving on to the last battle, and again, this is a tier 7 battle, and we're going to struggle this battle. We're actually going to struggle against the tier 7 premium AT15A. And I mean, the armor profile on the AT15A, I think is better than the tier 8 version of the AT15, and that's a tier 7. We do manage to end up coming off best, but maybe because I was the better player. But I don't think the tier 7 version of the AT15A should be better than the AT15. The rate of fire is roughly the same, but if you can get into certain, you can just look at that armor profile there. I mean, the hatch, yes, very, very weak. We still managed to bounce, but we're not bouncing that many. We're not going to bounce too much in this battle. If this tank had more armor, it would be a fantastic tank. It really would, because the rate of fire, the speed, as I've said, doesn't really bother me because it has that rate of fire. And these tanks are known to be really, really slow anyway. So the speed for me isn't an issue. If you can get into positions like this, and you can just see I'm using that gun depression, I'm over a hill, but you just can't do anything because that great big hatch is showing. So maybe buff the hatch a little bit. I don't know. I mean, we get bounced there. We bounced 1200 damage, which is fine. We would have been dead if we wouldn't have bounced. But for me, it needs something else. It does need something else. I'm not saying it's a bad tank, because it's not a bad tank. It really is not a bad tank. It's a really good tank. But it's just a tank that I don't find exciting. I don't see any use of playing it. It's pointless playing unless you're grinding. It's not a go-to tank to just have a little bit of fun. And I think what Wargaming needs to do is they need to start doing that with more tech tree tanks. I mean, there is a few tech tree tanks that are really good that people just go to play. But other than that, there's so many tanks, tech tree tanks, that you only really play to grind. I mean, the new Charioteer, fair enough, that is broken and it will get fixed. But once it gets fixed, will people play it just as a go-to tank? No, I don't think they will. And it's a shame. It is a shame that Wargaming make these tanks just to grind, and then that's it. You never play them again. And you very rarely see AT15s about. I mean, you do see them. And yes, they have brought out that AT15A version. So I have got the AT15A. So even though it's a tier below, it doesn't matter. It's better that it's a tier below, because you see tier 6s instead of seeing tier 9s, which makes the big difference, because tier 9s is where all the big armor, big guns, big TDs are about. And you can see we are going to take out this AT15. He is aiming at now someone completely different, but we do manage to take him out. So we do block 1370 damage, which is pretty much our hit points, just a bit less, but we do finish on 3.2. We do get the first class high caliber, and that is the AT15. If you're going to play it, I mean, have cover, definitely have cover. Try and hide that hatch as much as you can, because that is where everybody is going to aim for. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Again, this is a Patreon post, Patreon sponsored post. If you want to join up, the link is in the description. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon.